You are listening to the Foamy Heads podcast, where we discuss craft beer and anything else that accompanies a glass.
Asheville, North Carolina. The Foamy Heads are back hanging out at One World Brewing in Asheville, North Carolina. Mitch, what's going on with you, man?
First time here.
First time here. Yeah, that's right. I forgot about that.
First time here everywhere.
I think I've been Asheville like 5 or 6 times. I've drank way too much beer here, but it's the place to do it.
I mean, from what I hear, that's what you do here.
This is our first stop of the week, definitely, but we've kind of hung out at a couple of places today, had some good food, had some beers, but I'm really excited. One World Brewing in the west location here is something. I've never been to this location before, but I've been to their downtown location actually on their opening day, and we'll get into that a little bit earlier once we talk to our guests here. But One World Brewing has a place in my heart just for the simple fact that we made it to Asheville, and I was just kind of looking for a place to drink beer, and I didn't even know that I stumbled into the brewery initially. So just walked in, and I looked at my wife, and I was like, I think we're at a brewery right now after they checked our ID, and she was like, we're underground. And it was a good place to be. So being at the west location today is a cool place to be.
Man, I love the space. They've got a tap that blows my mind over there, how it all channels up to the middle.
From underneath the ground. Yeah,
Yes.
for sure. This is awesome. We've got Lisa and Jay with us today from One World Brewing. What's going on today, guys?
Well, hi. How you doing? It's a beautiful day.
Yeah.
It is. It's
Starting to feel like spring.
Yes.
Weather's killer here, man. Like, Tennessee is fucked in a sense that we just had tornadoes
Oh,
and
dang.
all kinds of like rain.
Straight line
and,
winds.
Yeah, it's stupid. And being able to come into Asheville, we're about 6 hours.
Yeah, roughly.
6-7 hours from you guys in Nashville, Tennessee. So for us, this is Beer City. So super excited to be here
Awesome.
at
Welcome,
One World
guys.
Brewing. Thank you very much. Not to put you guys on the spot, but do you guys want to kind of introduce yourselves, tell us your names, tell us a little bit about what you do here at One World, and then we can kind of jump into the beers in itself and the history. But right now we're interested in who you guys are and what you do here.
My name's Jay Schutz. Me and Lisa are the founders of One World, and I brew all the beer at West Asheville.
Yeah.
Also, I don't know.
That's it.
Yeah, that's pretty much
You
what
brew
I do.
all the
That's
beer here,
pretty
man.
much what I do.
My name's Lisa. So a husband and wife team. We're very happy to be like doing our passion together, and we've created a place where Jay's brewer and I focus on our community events and our live music, which has really grown. Started booking years ago in our downtown location, but it's really grown and become a big
A force.
a way of people coming together. And so it's also to be able to showcase our beer with music and just with good times and really have like a strong community culture around it. And we also do a lot of benefits and every single month, and have a lot of really cool projects going on. And on our website it says we're a hub for Asheville, so we're here for people coming to tell us what they what projects, what benefits, what events, just things that they dream of or envision, and bring ideas to us, and for us to be able to have the space and able to make it, bring it into life.
I love it.
Time and time again, and
Yeah.
it's just a lot of things, great times and good things that have happened.
Taking a lot on, and I love the community aspect. I can't appreciate that enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, it feels really good. It's like when you're with brewing, you work so hard, but you also get that gratification of really knowing that people are enjoying themselves and connecting with people. You can just see it, hand off just by being present.
It's probably my favorite thing is to, be in an event and just see the pure joy on people's faces. It's awesome.
Enjoying the stuff that you make every day, right?
Yeah.
Just being able
it's very authentic.
You're making something out of nothing, just hops by itself is a plant. And I was reading on you guys' website, you're like, you want to go ahead and talk about that? But
sure, yeah.
Hops is on its own is nothing, but like grain is nothing, but put it together.
It's the synergy of everything and all the parts becoming greater than the sum is greater than each part on its own.
That's what it
Definitely.
It's the magic. And so for me, Jay came up with the name. So people ask, where the name
What is One World
came
Brewing?
from.
Tell us about that. I want to know about the name itself.
Yeah.
Well, we only have one world, and we really have to share it and take care of it and make sure that we have a world for future generations and whatnot. And, it's getting crazy right now.
It is. It is.
Yeah, and I also, for me, the brewing is different.
It's dynamic.
It's dynamic. It's action word. So when people call One World as One World Brewing, not One World Brewery, because that's like becomes a static. What we're doing here is action and verb of it's continuously transforming and becoming itself. By everyone's participation and energy and things that go on. So I think that brewing part is just a cool word and is in brewing, but also just what that means is like things coming together and creating something special. Also, I think it became like with our downtown spot when we started. That people were coming, like this little place that was underground in the middle of downtown. People were coming from all over the world. We were meeting people from coming through that come to, for beer to Asheville from so many different places that also felt, very relevant.
What a high honor to have someone from, Edinburgh, come and say, I just had your ESB and it tastes like home.
Oh,
that's awesome.
Like, what?
Yeah,
that's awesome. Oh my God.
So you alluded a little bit to so we're sitting in the west location in West Asheville, and there's a downtown location as well, and that was you guys' first location.
Yeah.
So there was downtown in Asheville. Tell us a little bit about kind of how that came about.
Well, Lisa's brother, Jason Mann, he's the founder of Farm Burger.
Okay.
And, he was looking for a location. And back then, we were thinking really small time. Because, I'm a stonemason carpenter by trade. That's what I've always done. And then, passionate about home brewing. I was home brewer for 8 or 9 years before getting professional. And 2008 rolled around and the phone stopped ringing. I had to figure out something to do.
Yeah.
And Lisa's mom was like, Jay, everybody loves your beer. You ever thought about doing that? And I was like, no.
Okay.
How am I going to do that?
It does seem like a steep step. If I was doing something at home, I never could imagine growing it to the level that you have today, for sure.
I definitely couldn't either at that point. Yeah.
Wild.
But sorry, what was the question?
It just so like it moved. It was home brewing initially, and then just how the downtown location came into space.
When my brother found the space, there's many farm burgers. So he never lived in Asheville. He lived in Athens, Georgia for a while. But he was looking to open a farm burger in Asheville. And the space happened, the one that he finally, decided on happened.
The owners actually contacted him and were like, we live in Decatur, Georgia, and you have a farm burger there, and we love it, and we have a property in Asheville.
Oh,
Maybe you
Because
might
you guys are
wanna
right
visit.
below Farm Burger.
Yeah,
in Asheville.
exactly.
That makes
So-
sense. Okay, gotcha.
So we
Yeah.
found this place. It's an old historic Asheville building, like 1880s, and it had this space underneath. The staircase, that went from upstairs, and then it just had this space that had not been used and could be
basement-
used, and
Yeah.
it
Basement
became our
was
brewery.
I mean, it's an old building. 1880 it was built,
Yeah.
and brick, and
Oh.
like the mortar, was coming, it was
coming apart.
quite a project to. I mean, there were like just random like walls just put
Yeah.
in to keep the floor up upstairs and whatnot. It took a lot of
man.
It's not what it looks like
steel
today, in
and
other words.
engineering. Yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine.
So we kind of realized, that, hey, we're starting in the middle of downtown, and it kind of took a life. At first we were like, let's do a community-supported brewery where
Yeah,
people
like a
come and
CSB.
pick up
Yeah, we were
beer
like-
once
Yeah.
a week or something.
Yeah.
But then it became a
Brewery.
Yeah, then we're
and
downtown. We're like, oh shit, we gotta
You gotta
step
figure
this
out
up.
shit to
We
do,
gotta step
right?
this-
We
Yeah.
gotta do production.
Yeah.
Man.
And then after, there's some learning and growth in the first couple of years, and we realized that we needed to expand because we were running
Yeah,
out
we
of beer
really-
every weekend
we
by
hit
the Monday.
the ceiling. That was,
there's
I mean,
only so much.
at that point we had 20 fermenters,
Whoa.
which, yeah, well, that's a whole nother story. But we 20 40-gallon fermenters. That was like nonstop. I mean, I think the most batches we ever brewed in a week back then was like 14 batches in a
Wow.
week.
And how big is the brewing space in the downtown location?
The space?
Yeah, like
I mean, it's
how many
like-
how many gallons can you do at that
Oh,
point, or how many barrels? Is
now?
it one and
Oh, it's a 1.5
1.5 barrel system. Okay,
Yeah. So
gotcha.
it's like about 45
45
gallon
gallons?
system.
Gotcha.
We get about
Whoa.
40 gallons per batch.
Gotcha.
Okay.
I like the space in the sense that when I walk in, so one, it's underground, right? You go into kind of like this, looks like a locked door, kind of this big
Ooh.
space, and you go down these chain link steps or whatever. You go into like this darker area, and when you walk in, there are these small tank. At the time, it's been like 3 or 4 years since I've been to the downtown location, but they're and tell me if it's changed at all, but the small tanks are kind of in the walls, and they have like the neon lights over them or kind of in the background, and all that's kind of walled off, but you can kind of walk up and see them a little bit, but the
Yeah,
bar is right there on the left when you walk
Yeah, it's
in.
like a half wall. You can see the tops of the fermenters.
Right.
Now we have 10 stainless steel fermenters. In the beginning, it was polyethylene fermenters.
That's what I
conical
remember.
Fermenters,
Yeah.
but now we're not doing that anymore. We stopped that a few years ago, and we got
One World
stainless steel
growing up.
tanks. Yeah, no, it's really awesome. I mean, it's really funny because they were like, we have never had anybody ask us for that small of a tank. So it's got all of the things that big tanks have,
Mm-hmm.
but in a really teeny tank. They're pretty
Interesting.
they're pretty cute.
Pretty cute.
Yeah, we have a 10 barrel system here at West Asheville, which
Okay.
is like obviously
Much
it's
bigger.
like 7 times bigger than.
And that was 2018, right?
Mm-hmm.
2018 was when the West location opened.
So 2014 we opened to downtown, and then by 2016 we were seeing that we needed to expand, and that
Yeah,
we could
really
find this
we really hit
space.
the ceiling. I mean,
And that was
Wow.
still a big project. So it was 2 years in the making before we opened here in 2018.
That's wild. That sounds like a good problem to have off the bat.
right,
Like
yeah.
we gotta amp it
that
up.
was definitely the saying of the day. Good
Yeah.
problem to have.
Right.
Now we got to figure shit out,
Yeah.
right?
Uh-oh.
So we showed up earlier today, and we started out with an IPA. I want you guys to tell me a little bit about what it was that we're drinking. So when we showed up first, we had an IPA from you guys that was I'm trying to remember the
It's
name
called
of
the
it.
Queen of the Forest.
Queen of the Forest.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about that. That one was, to me, it was a little bit on the dank side, but it was real floral and super clean to drink. So you are the brewer in itself. Tell us a little bit about, is this something new for you guys, or is this something that you've been brewing constantly for a long time now?
Well, the Queen of the Forest is definitely a beer. So this is the first Queen of the Forest that I haven't used Nelson Sauvin hops.
Oh.
Okay.
So I'm trying to break away from the Nelson Sauvin and the Queen of the Forest because it's just a little ridiculous.
Sure.
Right.
Ridiculously priced proprietary blend from New Zealand that is.
You talking about the Nelson hops itself?
Mhm.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, it's hard to get and it's like way overpriced, like $45 a pound for just
Really?
straight hops. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Um.
I don't know if that's
Unless you
that
can
sounds
find some
expensive to
old
me,
stuff.
but I don't know if it is.
Oh
or
yeah,
not,
when you're
'cause
dealing with like, I mean, I
many
use
pounds?
I
I
use
mean-
cryo hops for a lot of stuff.
cryo
love
hops,
cryo,
Mitch.
yes.
Yeah.
Cryo hops are awesome. Have half the plant material.
Mm-hmm.
And
Same
cryo
punch.
hops are usually like around $30 to $35 a pound.
Wow. So like 50% higher for just the Nelson hops itself.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
ridiculous. So I'm just
Man.
getting away from that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I used Vic Secret
Okay.
Nice.
and Strata
Mm.
for the brew, and then dry hopped it with Sabro,
Okay.
which is a new hop. Just got a name, Sabro. It's really good. It's like grapefruity, pine resiny kind of, herbaceous.
How long have you guys been brewing that one in particular? Like without the Nelson hops.
This
Like,
is the first one.
This is the first batch.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
But this particular IPA has been around for a while. The name itself.
and probably similar.
Yeah, the Queen of the Forest. Well, so Nelson Sauvin is grown in the Nelson region of New Zealand and has a lot of, just the terroir where it's grown imparts like white grape wine, kind of like Nelson Sauvin
That makes sense.
is like a Sauvignon Blanc.
Okay.
Grape,
It does have that kind of winey taste whenever I've had
yeah,
an
like
IPA that has those
tropical,
hops in it.
tropical fruity, like
That hits all the notes here. Yeah.
Yeah. And then this one that we're having here, this one was, what was the name of this one again?
the Citra Bomb.
Citra Bomb.
Yeah.
Is it an all Citra IPA or is
It's
it
100% Citra. Hops,
really
but-
single hop Citra IPA?
Yeah, but
Okay.
it's I use cryo hops and also the Citra Incognito, which is CO2 expelled hop hash.
Huh.
Like it's like hop, I don't know, wax.
I like that.
Yeah, it's really awesome.
And I totally
I
just
haven't
realized
heard of that,
Mitch
yeah.
is still drinking the quit. Like,
Well, I like having reference, all right?
I was like, he was still drinking the first one, and I was like, okay, we're moving on to the second one now. But like, he's still
No, yeah.
drinking.
I was just like, I was enjoying it because
Gotcha.
I really do enjoy the tropical IPAs a lot. And I went through a setup here, so I'm finishing
Yeah.
my last part here.
Hell yeah, man. That's awesome.
The Citra Bomb is definitely our flagship IPA and like big. That's what we're starting to can. I'm doing the 16-ounce bottles or cans.
Oh, nice.
But that's like the first one that.
Well, the Citra Bomb and the Rainbow Talon seltzer.
We looked at that. Was that the one we looked at earlier when we
Yeah.
were downstairs? We kind of got a sneak preview of the can itself and
Mm-hmm,
the canning line. And I remember it was a seltzer, but I couldn't remember the name of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rainbow Talon. It's not a
Rainbow
White
Talon.
Claw. It's a Rainbow Talon.
Didn't even think about that. Okay. That's awesome. You guys' space, by the way, downtown or downstairs from this location is super cool.
Yeah.
How big is that? That one was how big compared to the downtown location?
The 10 barrel?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we have 6 10-barrel fermenters. So 10 barrels, 310 gallons.
310 gallons.
31 gallons per barrel.
Fantastic.
Much bigger than the
Yeah.
than the downtown
Well,
space.
The space where we're at right now, so much room. You've got the outdoor area. People can just walk about outside, inside. It's a
Yeah, that-
fantastic free-flowing space.
It really helped us during the last couple of years too with COVID and
Oh, it saved us.
yeah, because we had just opened in middle of 2018, so by early 2020, it had only been a year and a half, and it was a lot. We opened even though we opened this a lot sooner, this location, because we could be outside and we have an outdoor bar and outdoor seating.
Yeah,
and
outdoor
it was-
events, and it was.
How
Can't
did
do that downtown.
no,
not
you
at
definitely can't.
Downtown is not necessarily a COVID-friendly place.
No, it's so crunched.
Well,
like,
it does have. So we have a crazy ERV unit that constantly pulls the air out of there and returns fresh air. So it's, I mean, kind of like an airplane, but it seems a little cramped for.
Yeah,
that
For
kinda-
sure. Yeah.
How did so? That's actually a good point that you guys brought up. The whole, and Mitch and I have talked about this before. It's interesting to hear how breweries have adapted to the whole, because everyone agrees the last 2 years of this world has been fucked just in general.
for
like,
sure.
How moving from how everybody kind of had life before to like March of 2020 when things just kind of fell off the cliff and the world shut down and things like that, and it forced everybody to get lean and it forced everybody to kind of change the way they do things. You guys opened in this location in 2018, so you had a little bit of time to kind of get used to the space before that happened. Did COVID in itself kind of impact the way you guys had to do business, or do you think that,
Definitely.
yeah?
Well,
Definitely.
it was about a month that we were closed. Here, maybe no, couple. Yeah,
It was like a month. It was like a month that we, the lockdown,
we
initial lockdown. and
just
Yeah.
and then we started
yeah.
serving. We'd have the front garage door
yeah.
like halfway open, and we'd pour growlers for people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They'd come and
But I think the
refill
thing
their growlers or buy growlers.
it allowed us to do is to really like we had been so caught up with opening this tap room that we hadn't really done a lot with our outside space, even though it was there as like the whole time.
Yeah.
We were just so busy. We're kind of getting the actual brewery inside tap room, and so gave us a need to really put more effort in to our space in the back, and that we're very fortunate to have this really beautiful space out.
Well, yeah, it's kind of
love
it's kind of funny because I built the outdoor bar like
Oh.
before COVID happened. Thinking we would have some fun stuff going on outside. We were just way too busy with everything, It didn't never happen. Then COVID happened.
Then you had to
and
use
I-
it.
And then I was like, oh, that's awesome. Yeah, it worked out really well.
I have a need for this
Nice.
outdoor bar now, right?
And it kind of, they allowed, I don't know if you remember, but they allowed breweries to open earlier than a lot of venues and bars because we were producing our own product.
Right.
So
Okay.
it was kind of like put us in place, to open earlier, quicker, which allowed us to really be there.
Yeah, we're an essential business.
Essential
Yeah.
business.
I know Tennessee had a slight change to their way of letting brewers and breweries distribute at earlier hours. Georgia, especially, I think they're just about as locked down as Tennessee was.
Yeah.
But they let, what was it? The Stout Brothers were just a draft house, but they were able to open up an hour and a half earlier or something like that.
It was
and
something
serve
like that.
glasses full, but they couldn't sell cans. Some weird
Didn't make sense to me, though.
yeah, it still doesn't make sense,
Yeah.
but they at least gave a little leeway. But
Yeah, those old blue laws almost always make perfect nonsense.
yes.
When do those laws make sense? Like, it doesn't matter
Never.
to me. I don't get
They
it.
never make sense.
And Tennessee was different than North Carolina too. It's like we had a different opening plan than you guys did here, and Tennessee's part of the Bible Belt, so we had a lot more, I'd say a lot more disbelief in a lot of that than probably people here did. We opened up a lot sooner, it seems, and then when we did, it was just open the floodgates. Everybody was just welcome back
It really
in.
did, yeah.
Nice. Yeah.
And there were some people that were a little bit more cautious with it, but brewers in general, I feel, as you guys kind of stated, it forced everybody to change the way they do business. But I feel like brewers in general, or breweries compared to other like lines of business in the economy, kind of had a little bit of an advantage because they were able to open up a little bit earlier, and they were able to do things a little bit different than. And basically, it forced you guys to change the way you did business, but you could still open up and sell.
Yeah, and because of the amount of space that we had, and we were outside completely. So, like, we were even having, like, following all guidelines, but still having music, live music. And we're kind of a lifeline for our community in that way, and they tell us that all the time because they were like, and the people come, people come to see music.
Well, yeah, sure.
They were just like, during that whole time, like, this was a place where I could actually go that was set up and followed all the guidelines, but could still allow
feel
for
safe
some
and
music and some community to happen.
Community,
So, and I still get so many, like, just like genuine, like, appreciation of people telling me that, still now, currently.
That pandemic was a shock to the system. It really was.
People weren't really expecting it. Like, they weren't ready for it.
We hadn't seen anything like, personally in our life.
Right.
So we were like, really? Is this?
Well, you heard about it. You heard about it across
it
the
in
other
the
side of the
past,
world,
in
and
the
you're like,
history.
oh, it's whatever. And then all of a sudden, somebody goes, hey, we got a little something over here, too.
Yeah.
And then it was like, oh, it's nothing. And then all of a sudden, it slowly started expanding. And all of a sudden, boom, overnight, people were like, okay, we got to shut down. We got to do things like that.
Right.
Yep.
So, I don't know. I'm glad you guys have made it through.
Thank you.
Honestly.
Yes.
Because One World is just, again, it's not a huge story, but I remember my wife and I were in Asheville, North Carolina. I'm a big beer nerd, so I mean, like, Asheville's like a good destination for me. My parents live in Knoxville. It's a good halfway point between us and Nashville. But I would go there and we'd go there and I'd be like, hey, what's this spot? And we'd go check it out, and there was a guy standing right there just checking IDs, and I talked to my wife. I was like, let's go in and see what it's about. And we would show him our IDs, and we walked down the stairs, and I looked at Rachel and I go, I think we're at a brewery right now. And the guy was like, hey, welcome to One World Brewing. And I was like, hey, this is awesome. I'm going to sit down and have a beer. And little did we know, it was like you guys' opening of that time, and like I didn't even know that. So
That's great.
Sat back, had 5 or 6 beers from you guys, and just big fans. And every time I've been back to Asheville, North Carolina, I make it a plan to stop at the nostalgia piece, right? I make it a plan to stop in the downtown location and make sure to support you guys. So, and just spend my money there. But again, first time at this location. The West location is, you see it online, you hear about it. Never been to this location before.
Yeah, we really did this, we've lived here 17 years, and we're very, like, our local community, to really, like, showcase the talent and the people, just the good time of connection.
We are so blessed here in Asheville with the, like, an incredible amount of incredible musicians. Like, it's like somehow I don't know what
there's
happened.
a lot of it here, right?
Man, like, the musicians, we are just bad ass.
And
I love it.
In the community and all the people around that, but it's just so we really did this location for that. And we have weekly events that happen every week. We have this jazz jam on Sundays, so we have outside.
Awesome.
It's like been going on for over 3 years every week. Even during the pandemic, when we were closed, they were playing, like, the musicians were live streaming it,
From their
getting
barn.
together
They
from
were
a
live
barn.
streaming from their barn.
And
They never stopped. They never missed one.
That's awesome.
and there's 3 guys that put it on, but then there's 20 plus musicians of all ages, walks of life, talented musicians that come and just do this jam together every Sunday. But that's really a highlight. That's our longest going
Jazz
weekly
on
event.
Sundays.
And it's in the afternoon. It's lovely.
And
Yeah.
live music other days of the
And
week,
then
too?
Monday nights are
Every night.
this
Every
amazing
night.
thing that started Mashup Mondays. That's like where all these New Orleans, there's like funk music to the best of the best of it.
My wife and I love funk.
And so it's like all,
That's
and it
awesome.
works out that Mondays, all these musicians have played shows all over the country. They're not even just they're like big, and then that can come on Mondays.
They're not doing anything Monday. They're
Monday's the one day they're like come back for their community and come back to play this like epic music here on Monday.
Yeah, the
night.
musicians themselves call it like it's like their church.
Yeah,
Whoa.
It's like church time. The
like
church you
that.
want to go to.
The church
Yes.
you want to go to. Yeah.
Yes.
Tuesday night we have Grateful Dead night with Funkle, members of Funkle Sam that put it on, called the Grateful
Nice.
Family Band,
Oh, that's killer.
and they
Yeah.
play every Tuesday, Wednesday with like full on Latin night with all the different Latin dances, salsa, and that's
all
very
7 Latin
popular.
dances.
And then the rest of the time is just booking shows and
like
of
every
the
day of the week.
musicians. And it's nice to be that kind of size where we're not this, we do have big, name thing big touring acts that play at big venues. But we have such good local music and now regional music that's just fits this size.
Yeah.
Where it's like it's just a perfect size for them, and it works out so good, and you get that energy that's really contained, create something really special at this certain size that we're just like happen to be
Yeah,
at.
like
you
couple
know?
hundred people, not a couple thousand.
Right.
And that takes place downstairs, right? When you guys are outside in that little outdoor area downstairs.
There's the outdoor stage, and then we
Yeah.
have an indoor stage here too. Well, there's not a
I didn't even
stage.
see that
There's
over
not a
there.
stage actually.
If you look hard enough, there is a stage over there. If you drink enough beer, there is a stage over there.
Exactly.
Indoors and outdoors. And your outdoor space is super dope, by the way.
Yes.
Thank you.
Lots of tables outside. And then you guys have the van out there that has the taps on the wall.
Yeah,
What-
6 taps on the reefer van.
Tell us about that a
Yeah.
little bit. Just having a van and be able to take your beer anywhere and pour straight
it's
out of
awesome.
the
Yeah.
side.
Well, I mean, we started, self-distributing, and we got a lot of accounts, and we just want to keep the beer cold and fresh. So, got a, what is it? It's a ProMaster.
Dodge Ram.
Dodge Ram, yeah.
Dodge Ram.
But anyway, so we got it, and I gutted it and foamed it up, and man, it took me like a year to turn it into a refrigerated van.
Oh, yeah.
Man.
But
Festivals,
did it.
too?
Yeah, festivals. As long as you can plug it in, you can keep it cold.
Plug and play.
Yeah,
Or and because it's insulated, if you
Yeah,
can't
you can-
plug
you
it in,
can-
you can
put it in a
ice,
trough
and
with
it'll
ice.
keep
Oh,
really
cool.
well.
Awesome.
Man.
yeah. The ice won't melt, but
That's
that's kind of a pain. It's kind of a pain to deal with. That.
Yeah.
Gosh.
But
yeah.
I've never when we got here, Mitch, and,
Yeah.
and they were walking us around and showing us the area, and we go downstairs and we see this van downstairs, and there's like 6 taps on the side of the van, and they're like, "Yeah, that's where we pour beer out of." When we're just driving the van along, I'm like, "Really? Like that?
Love it. I
You
love
guys
it.
would pour beer right out of the side of the van?"
Oh,
He was just
man.
like, "Yeah."
Festival ready.
We have, I mean, we
Yes.
brought it to
Plug and
beer
play.
festivals. Where is it? Yeah, beer festivals, and also
Music
music.
festivals.
Yeah, music festivals.
Hot air
sometimes-
balloon festivals.
Yeah, we.
That's a thing.
Yeah.
Hot air
Oh, yeah.
balloon
Yeah,
festival.
there is a hot air balloon festival.
No shit.
That happens
Okay.
every year that we go to.
So what's Mitch? You're holding that. You had a couple of sips of the new IPA
Yes.
that we just drank. What's your thoughts on it?
Oh, it's nice, hoppy, and
What's the name on it again? This one.
It's the Citra Bomb.
This is the Citra
Yeah,
Bomb.
there's no citrus in it whatsoever. It's just 100%
It's all Citra hops.
Citra hops from Pacific Northwest.
Okay.
It reminds me of your favorite hop.
So he's right.
Citra's
when
your
when you
favorite.
brought this out, I was really excited because Citra is like my all-time favorite hop. You know, I home brewer for a while, but haven't done it in years. Mitch and I have talked about home brewing again, just kind of starting it up and just kind of see. But Citra hops is my favorite thing. One of my favorite beers of all times is just single hop Citra IPAs. So when you guys brought out Citra Bomb, I was like, yes, I'm really excited to be able to have it.
Nice.
But
Hope you like it.
yeah, oh no, it's great. I love it. I feel like I've had it when I was at the downtown location
Uh huh.
one time before, so this isn't a a new recipe for you guys. This is something that you've brewed beforehand, right?
Definitely, yeah. We've been brewing this one for like 4 years, probably.
Okay.
It's the one that like can't ever go off tap. Like,
right.
People will like start throwing shit.
Man,
He
that
definitely-
Citra is just it's a hook.
Yeah.
I love it. It's I've had Citra for so long now. It has a certain smoothness about it that and crisp kind of like character
Right.
to it. That whenever I have that, I'm like, okay, is this? Sure enough,
It's
it is
Citra.
Citra.
Yes.
It's
Citra's
a
unique in
smooth
a sense
criminal,
too. It's got that unique flavor.
Yeah.
Of course, Nelson hops have a unique flavor. You talked about how it's kind of like that grape wine kind of flavor to it. Simcoe's got a very unique flavor too. Centennial. Citra hops are more of a like a juicy. It's just an all-around, well-rounded hop to be able to make an IPA with. And if it's just single hop with Citra, for me that's even better. But a lot of breweries will mix it with something else. But throw single hop Citra in a beer, and I'm all about it.
Yeah.
Nice.
So, do you guys have any? Just kind of changing gears a little bit towards the last part. Are you guys? Is there something in the tanks that you guys are you kind of brewing what you have on tap now, or are you guys constantly coming up with something new to come up with? Is it more like what you guys have on tap right now because you're so busy all the time you just have to keep reloading with what you have?
That's pretty much the case. I mean, when I'm all caught up and I have a free tank, then I'll get creative with something new.
Nice.
He started created the Legacy Lager,
Ooh,
which he
Legacy
had always
lager.
said, "I'm not brewing
Never
a lager."
Never gonna do lagers. Yeah.
So okay, now you have to tell us about that.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Well, it's a Mexican corn lager,
Okay.
and it's. I mean, the corn in it is like 10%.
Okay.
Or maybe like 15%. But
Okay.
it's 5% alcohol. It's brewed with California ale yeast.
Ooh.
And so, well, with my process, I brew at lower temperature. You know, I mash at lower temperatures to create the most simple sugars possible. And the yeast crushes it in like 3 days, and it goes down to
Damn, that's hungry yeast.
like
Yeah.
3 days, and it's down to like 10:04. You know,
Wow.
like 1010. You know,
Yeah.
1.010. You know, is like what they consider to be terminal for generally for California ale yeast, but the process makes it. Yeah, I don't know. It goes down to
It just works.
10:04, 10:06. Yeah, 10:04 in like 3 days. So that's like almost,
So you
perfectly dry.
didn't want to brew lagers at one point. You kind of said that.
Well, he didn't want to keep the tanks just filled.
Well, yeah, having
'cause
a
we only have
lager in
so
a
many.
tank for
Yeah.
8
Yeah.
weeks, doesn't make that much sense for such a small.
But we know
Right.
people
That makes
want
sense.
lighter beers. It just seems like more and more and things that you can drink. But it's really delicious. It's really good with a slice of lime. You can just like squeeze it.
It's kind of like
Yes.
reminiscent of Pacifico or Bellican, maybe.
on tap now? You guys have it on tap now, or it's
Well,
lagering
it's
right
not
now?
on tap now because Latin Night crushed it.
That's okay though. Like you had it on tap. You
It's
had it at one
almost
point.
ready.
It's
The next
gone now.
batch.
Well, that's the
almost
thing, you
ready.
make a lager, it takes 8 weeks to make. And,
Yeah.
2 weeks to drink.
Yep. Crushable. That's the good and bad about lager beers is they're so crushable and so easy to drink. Like
Yeah.
it takes a while to make one, and then by the time it's ready, it's fucking gone.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And
Exactly.
we
Another
called
g-
it the Legacy Lager for this partnership that we have with a
Positive
nonprofit
legacy.
called
Oh.
Positive Legacy.
Positive legacy.
And they've been important to us personally on a personal level because we would go international trips to go see live music, and they do their whole thing is to give back to the communities where we create these events where we're going to music, so they're giving back to the people that live in those places. And so it's mostly it's very music based. So it's like where people, music, and like charitable projects happen.
Yeah.
And they're a big deal. They're very important to us. Like on a very have a lot of respect for them. And and during that whole COVID time too, they decided instead of just doing this international work, we're gonna start doing projects locally, because that's only a couple months a year that those big trips are happening. So now they're bringing it back to local communities. We're the first brewery to partner with them. Now they have 20 plus, today they created the campaign. It's called Pours for Positive. Through Positive Legacy. Today we kick off our whole thing for humanitarian relief in Ukraine. And our friend is Mike Novak is on the board. He lives in Asheville, and so this community, they're very skilled and experienced. But what they're doing is working with craft beverage companies that they like ours, and seeing how much we can give back as a collective force. So they're kind of like the organization and the checks and balances between that. And so we have a larger campaigns that we're all working on. Then we can see how much even in the country, all these different breweries are contributing to different projects and things going on.
That's cool.
That's super dope, man.
Yeah.
It's pretty special.
So the first one we did was with Asheville Greenworks, which is a local nonprofit, best, does so much in our community. And they had created these things called trash trouts. And they're kind of like a metal fence contraption that sits in our waterways and collects trash. So that when we're not there, we
floating
can't.
trash will just go get
And they have
trapped by it,
buoys,
and then you go clean it out every week or 2 weeks or something.
Oh, that's cool.
And they put in like. But anyway, they started putting in, and one got vandalized for the metal, and so we jumped on that project and replaced it through our first campaign, like through first benefit with the legacy lager, and so now it's sitting in there, and we put it back in the water. It gets truckloads of trash every
doing its
2 months.
Yeah.
And it was awesome. Just from our beer, we did a few cleanups, and now we're kind of working with them on further projects, and it's pretty awesome. We're gonna have them be part of our can, and that we create.
I like that whole aspect, and that's what I love about craft beer in general is people look at craft beer and they're just like, oh, it's just like, it's a
beer.
fancier beer or whatever. But it's like most cases there's a cause for it.
Yes.
In Asheville there's a cause for it. In Nashville we have those as well. But just being able to, it's when we walk into One World or we decide, we're going to spend our hard-earned dollars because. And especially in today's day and age, there's a limited number of dollars to go around. Everybody's pockets, are a little bit stretched. But being able to walk in and buy a pint or buy something on draft or whatever, and know that some of that money is going towards something that's going to help out a local community, it makes us want to spend money even more.
Yes.
Because most craft beer drinkers are really just about keeping their dollars in the community or their surroundings because it's about helping a good cause, and that's what the craft beer is.
Yeah, that's traditionally what breweries have been for 1,000 or more years. Is community hub for people to come and drink and chat
and save the world.
And save the world, exactly.
I don't know, Mitch. Before we get into the lightning round, what's your thoughts on this? Citra Bomb.
It's always a love of IPAs for me with hops and everything. It's just you can't go wrong, and you've done it right. The Citra is so good, man.
Yeah,
it's so good.
Really glad you like it.
The guy that brewed the beer is actually sitting across from us right now.
I can't appreciate
that's fucking wild.
enough.
I think I'm gonna actually refill my glass with some Queen of the Forest real quick.
Go for it.
Okay, well, let's take a rinse break real quick.
All
then,
right, sounds good,
and
man.
we'll be right back. Coming back from Jay being sourer than usual.
Wait,
we took a rinse break and decided to pop open the lightning round gift that you brought for him, and Jay popped it open and it just went everywhere.
Yeah.
And it's,
it was excited just like me.
It was really exciting. Yeah, half the bottle went to the brothers.
it
and
went
sisters.
to charity.
Yeah.
So
And Jay's gonna be smelling like barrel-aged sour tonight.
Yep.
That's awesome.
so
It's not a bad smell. It smells
No, it smells
It's
great,
quite,
actually.
quite delightful. Actually.
it does. This is the Black Abbey Brewing Company Pet Project Series Barrel Aged Sour Ale, Sunny, and it's a sour ale with passion fruit and nutmeg. So this is something I was gifted to me from a friend who had a couple bottles of it, and he's a Mug Club member. Yeah, thank you. Mug
much
Club
beer.
member, and he's very close to the people at Black Abbey. So this is named for Bill Doze's cat, and it's a 6.2 ABV. No other details on here. I didn't pre-game any of the details, but I know it's got at least a year on it.
Mm-hmm.
And
When
it
we
was
opened it,
ready.
exploded.
It
Yeah.
was really ready to
Yeah.
be drank. Yeah,
It was definitely chilling for a little while.
love it, man.
I almost just put my mouth on it, but I,
Yeah.
you
You might as well have, man.
That's what she said. Yeah.
This
Oh,
thing,
And and so prior to that, we've got something different in front of us right
yes,
now.
it's
that-
beautiful.
yeah, this looks clean as hell, man. It's
it's the first beverage that I ever filtered.
ooh, the first one that you ever filtered.
Yeah.
This is a seltzer.
Hmm.
What was it called again?
It's called the Rainbow Talon Hard Seltzer
Not the-
with raspberry hibiscus.
Raspberry hibiscus.
Yeah,
Not White Claw. Rainbow Talon.
correct.
We're still carrying that joke.
Yeah, it's a joke from earlier. Yeah.
Cheers. Thank
Cheers
you
to
for having
guys.
us.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Nice little nose to
Easy, man. A little tart on the end, but it's just like I like this in the sense that most seltzers are kind of just like they're not sugary, they're not fruity. There's just kind of like you drink something and it almost like you taste the flavor and then just dissipates really quickly. But this is a little different in the sense that the flavor hangs with you on the end.
Yeah, it's all natural flavors.
Yeah.
It's brewed with organic corn sugar, dextrose,
Mm-hmm.
and organic raspberry puree, and whole hibiscus flowers.
How long does it take to brew a seltzer like that, though? Like from
To
start to
ferment?
finish? Yeah, from the time you pour everything in initially till the time it goes to the tap.
Roughly like 2 weeks.
2 weeks. That's what I was going to say.
And that's with like fermentation aids and stuff, because the yeast really is missing out on a lot of maltose and things like that that it really loves. So
Yeah.
you gotta give it some of those things, the zinc and the I don't know whatnot. We use White Labs Seltzer Max.
Ah, okay.
Been to White Labs before. Plan on going there again this week.
Oh yeah, they're great.
Yeah.
Love those guys.
Yeah, always doing experimental things.
Mm-hmm.
And food's good. The hops are good that they're always using. It's always you can't pronounce their hop profiles, and it's always like a one and done for them.
Oh
They're
well,
always
for them,
doing something else.
it's not about the hops; it's about the yeast profile.
The yeast profile.
yeast
Okay, maybe that's what it was then.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to that. And so hop like this one here, it's it doesn't taste like a typical seltzer to me.
Uh-huh.
I like this better in a sense that seltzers always leave you wanting a little bit more, like lacking some flavor. It's kind of like your brain's tricking you into thinking you're going to taste raspberry, and then it's just water and it goes away or whatever.
Yeah,
It's like you're halfway drinking something and then it stops.
Yep. I hear
This you get the full flavor of it.
nice
Is Asheville like kind of growing on seltzers?
Oh, that's a good
for
one.
sure.
Really?
For sure, definitely.
I know there's I mean, with the tons of breweries in the area, surely it's got to be a thing, but
know
I think we have the best seltzer, but I've had some
It's-
other.
I think you have the
seltzers.
best seltzer too.
it's
No.
really good.
It's seltzer is a difficult thing to really get
Not hard to
get
make,
down.
but hard to perfect, right?
right. Yeah,
Yeah.
It's like so in our description it says brewed with blah 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 and brewer's tears.
Nice.
But
Fair
yeah,
enough.
I mean, but really, it's not true because it's so much easier.
It's easier to make. It's
and
easier to clean too,
easier
I
to
bet, right?
clean
Yeah.
everything. Yeah, brewer's tears are non-existent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Happy tears,
Yeah,
if
happy
anything.
tears, exactly.
I can clean this one out and just go straight into the next beer if I want to.
exactly,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like it. Raspberry, hibiscus, seltzer.
And
From
both
One World
raspberry and hibiscus are herbally. They're liver cleansers. Which is
Perfect.
interesting.
And I'm doing a good thing by drinking it, is what you're saying, right?
Yeah.
Hell
I needed
yeah.
this.
I didn't know I needed seltzer in my life until today.
Well, the funny thing about seltzers is they're hydrating as opposed to like beer. Hops are diuretic, so it actually makes you pee,
Okay.
and also have sedative properties.
Oh, I feel that.
But with the seltzer, like it gets you drunk, but it doesn't make you have to pee all the time. You don't get dehydrated, and you don't get sleepy.
about
So
that.
It's different.
Being able to keep going all night, basically,
It's
right?
somewhat magical in one aspect.
Yeah.
That's like, well, that's awesome, man. Cheers to you guys, and thank you
Yes,
so much.
thank you.
guys. This is great. That one went down the hatch easy for me, Mitch.
For sure. My
Yeah.
liver feels better already.
You're living healthy today, Mitch. Drinking a seltzer.
Yes.
With raspberry and hibiscus.
Nice.
Switching gears a little bit, kind of towards the last part. This is like our appreciation to you
Yes.
guys.
Yeah. Thank you, and also sorry.
No, this is great, Mitch. I'm going to let you kind of you already kind of alluded to it a little
did, I
bit,
did.
but I'll let you kind of recap this for us again. But
Yeah.
the lightning round is a chance for us to give something back to you guys. You're taking time out of your day when you could be doing other things, but you're sitting down with us instead. So us being able to bring something that you can't get outside of Nashville, or something that's just specific to our town that we want to bring to you guys. So Mitch, I'm going to let you kind of lead us into this final section of the podcast and talk about the lightning round a little bit.
Yeah. So I've got the Black Abbey Pet Project Series Barrel Aged Sour Ale. I can't tell you exactly how long I've had this bottle, but I know the person who gave it to me has had it longer. So there might be a reason. With the trip, it's definitely apparent that what you said earlier, it probably warmed up. I did not anticipate that explosion or pop that it had.
Wow, it sounded like a 22 going on.
Yeah, it did. It was man, it woke me up. I'm not used to beers doing that to me,
I
except that
hope
my
your equipment's all
desk.
good.
We'll see.
Everything seems well.
Longevity might have went down a little bit, but that's okay.
That was a very excitable beer.
Yeah.
Yes.
I got what I deserved with that one. Oh, nice pour. Let's
Yeah.
see. I was curious how it was going to turn out here. I
Look at
haven't
that.
had this one before.
This is a barrel aged sour.
Yes.
I'm not huge on sours, but I like Black Abbey.
I'll let my
Those
pants
guys didn't
take
do
that
it.
one. I would pour for you, but I'm a bad pourer. apparently.
Mitch's pants are all wet now.
Yeah.
No, this is just a very, very
Hungry beer.
Yeah.
it's ready.
Yeah.
Look at that. It is. It's thick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks like apricot juice.
does.
Black Abbey in Nashville is kind of it's a cool vibe in a sense that it's like this old church sanctuary kind of place, but you walk in and you sit down in pews and tables and things like that, but you get to drink beer instead. So it's like
Right.
it's my kind of church,
That's
basically.
cool. Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah. So being able to have like that church vibe of like Black Abbey, but it's a cool place. This beer,
Sniff it,
I'm a little
man.
Okay,
It
hold on.
smells like apricot
It
juice.
does.
I'm a little nervous on this one because I don't do sours typically.
Yeah.
Kind of tastes like apricot. No, like
Whoa.
sour. Like sour.
It's not
Yeah.
too sour. It's
It's not
No.
too sour.
Yeah, I'd say it's like 3.5, 3 point. something like that.
3.7 what?
pH.
Really?
Mm.
Okay. I don't know the answer to that one.
Oh, me neither. But
Oh.
Oh, when it goes below 3.5, it's like
super puckerable,
Yeah.
like
Like
a
too,
warhead or
like real
something?
puckerable. Is that what you're saying?
Like yeah,
Yeah.
like use it for salad dressing.
Ah, okay. Yeah.
You like
Man.
funk beers, though,
Oh,
don't
I do,
you, Mitch?
man. I do. There's been one that I can't remember from Yazoo 2014 or something when they first started
Oh,
their
I
Embrace
remember.
the Funk series.
Yeah.
But people brought from all corners of like Tennessee and the cornering states or whatever. They brought these funk beers, and one had a super death metal label to it, and I could not handle it. I wasn't ready for that one because everyone's beer sharing at those kind of things, and it was just too strong for me at that point in time. But I wish I could remember the name.
Too
of
strong on the horse blanket. Or,
Yes. It was sweaty.
Yeah. It was sweaty for sure.
Yeah. My memory, like what's retained of the memory is just like it was just too much. I can't place exactly what that profile was anymore. But I kind of took a break for like a year and a half after 4 or 5 months because I brought one of the Flanders Red original Embrace the Funks to your New Year's party one year, and you guys weren't ready for
Yeah,
sour
all of
beers.
us Blue Moon and
The
Shock Top
original
drinking craft
Flanders
beer
Red.
drinkers had
That
no
is-
idea what
that's
we were
like-
in store for.
That's like 3.2.
Yeah, it
pH.
was-
Yeah, it's-
I didn't realize what I've done to these
Yeah.
people.
Mitch fucked us up that day for sure. But
It was at the time in Tennessee, our craft beer was what?
Yazoo.
Shandy's,
yeah,
Yazoo, and
it was Blackstone Yazoo.
Yeah,
I mean, like it
Blackstone.
was wheat beers, Hefeweizens. That
Yeah.
was it.
Yeah.
Like craft beer in Tennessee at the time IPAs weren't really a thing. It was either Bud Light or like wheat beers.
Yeah.
That was it. So
then
it was a different time for sure.
I crashed your crew, like you and your friends with the red Flanders.
Yeah, we didn't know what to expect that
They
day.
did not appreciate it.
No.
It was all mine after that.
like, anybody got some Tums?
Yeah.
Yes, I needed Tums that night
Yeah.
for sure.
I was like, oh well.
So
I'm no longer invited to these functions.
you're still here. It's okay. You didn't fuck up too bad though. What's so kind of closing out? What's next for One World Brewing? Are you guys obviously you're trying to keep up with demand at this point because you opened up a second location just to service the area. Is the focus going to be on brewing like flagship core beers, or you guys want to do one-offs? Are you guys looking at what's the
We're getting into canned distro.
okay?
Sweet.
Good, because I mean that's the beginning steps of being able to get you guys' beer at some point in the future,
Yeah, exactly.
further
Yeah.
away than Asheville, North Carolina.
Correct.
Yeah, cans would be good. You alluded to that. We saw that a little bit in the beginning. I'd very much look forward to being able to see that, or just being able to, if I'm here, take some home with
Yeah,
me.
exactly.
For sure.
Yeah.
You know, and that's I think where most of them start is
Yeah.
being able to walk to you guys' place, get beer, and take it home with you.
Yeah, 16-ounce 4-packs, half-gallon beer right there.
I didn't think about that. That's 64 ounces of beer.
Yeah.
I'm good at
Yeah.
math. I get worse the more beer I drink. That's awesome. You guys make awesome beer, man.
Thank you,
Yes.
bro.
We
Really appreciate you.
really appreciate it. And again, you guys could have been doing anything with your day today, but
Yes.
we've been talking to you guys for a couple of weeks now, and just being able to reach out and talk to you guys and sitting down today, it's an honor for us to be able to sit down and drink beer that me personally have been drinking for years, but didn't really know the faces behind the beer. So you guys have been super hospitable to us, and being able to sit down at your West location, humbled. Like it's awesome. So
Yeah. Thank you so much.
and thanks
Yeah.
for the hospitality too.
Thank
Thanks for
you,
reaching
guys.
out.
Yeah.
It's been a pleasure.
Yeah. Closing thoughts, Mitch?
We're all under one world. And I'm glad they accepted us into theirs.
That makes sense.
Thank you.
That makes sense.
You make great beers, great seltzers, and I wish I had more to share. So
Yeah.
thank you so much, guys.
All
we
right.
appreciate it.
Thank
and
you.
Mitch,
Many blessings.
this has been fun, dude.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we're just going to hang out here for a little while and maybe
Definitely.
drink another pint or two and just relax and give them a little bit more of our money. So
Most definitely.
we're gonna be here, and thank you guys very much. Shout out to One World Brewing, Asheville, North Carolina. It's been fun. If you're not drinking beer, start drinking beer. If you are drinking beer, keep drinking beer. And if you've never had craft beer before and you're in the Asheville area, One World Brewing is definitely a place you
Yeah.
want to check out.
Independent craft.
Independent
Sure.
craft.
Plugged into the community.
I couldn't say that any better. Cheers, guys. We'll see you on the next episode.
Cheers, y'all.
Cheers.
Cheers.